What's up guys, it's Tommy here and welcome to a very exciting Liverpool transfer news video because Liverpool are leading the race to sign Jadon Sancho next summer because Manchester United missed out on Jadon Sancho. They didn't pay Borussia Dortmund's asking price. So first of all, let me know in the comments below, what do you think about this news? Do you want Liverpool to go all out for Jadon Sancho next summer, or do you want us to sign any other player? Which superstar do you want Liverpool to sign next summer? Let me know in the comments below and leave a like on this video if you enjoy these transfer news updates, and subscribe if you haven't already. Turn on the bell notification. And according to reports in many English newspapers, the Liverpool are now ahead of Manchester United in the race to sign England star Jadon Sancho, who is best friends with Trent Alexander-Arnold in a recent video made with Andy Robertson said that Jadon Sancho is his best mate in the England squad, and Sancho is strongly linked with a move to Liverpool. He was of course linked with Manchester United last summer, but Man United refused to meet Borussia Dortmund's £100 million price tag, and according to the Independent newspaper, that means Man United have blown their chance to sign the wonder kid with no competition. Last summer there was no competition for Jadon Sancho. Man United, if they pay the right amount, Jadon Sancho would be a Man United player now. But because they didn't, now Liverpool are leading the race, and also Bayern Munich are in the running for Jadon Sancho. But I heard that Bayern Munich also want to sign Erling Haaland. The report claims that the figures close to the Jadon Sancho have indicated that Liverpool and Bayern Munich are now seen as the likelier destinations for the Jadon Sancho. And Sancho, who is not having as prolific of a season so far this season as he was last season, but last season he scored 20 goals and got 20 assists for Borussia Dortmund. And these newspaper sources also claimed that Jadon Sancho wasn't exactly beating down the door and desperate to sign for Manchester United. He didn't really want to rock the boat. He has a very good, happy lifestyle, happy life in Borussia Dortmund, and he has a lot of respect for Dortmund as a football club. So he didn't really want to upset the Dortmund hierarchy by handing in a transfer request, refusing to go to training, all sorts of shenanigans. Jadon Sancho didn't want to do that, and the England youngster is said to be considering his future options. And it is claimed that there is a feeling Liverpool have now leapt ahead of Man United for his signature. Jurgen Klopp is a huge fan of Jadon Sancho. He even wanted to sign him when he was still a Man City player, but Man City refused to do any deals with English clubs. So Jadon Sancho went to Dortmund. The rest is history. And it will be a different story next summer when hopefully the worst part of the pandemic will be over. Hopefully there will be a vaccine available by next summer, so the Liverpool and football finances might have recovered by then, which means that Liverpool could go all out and spend 80, 90, 100 million pounds on Jadon Sancho. It would be actually a shock if Liverpool were not interested in a player who is as good as Jadon Sancho. He's young, he's English, he ticks all the boxes of a marquee signing. And as Liverpool move into the second cycle on the Jurgen Klopp, with big picture succession planning set to form, an increasingly essential part of Liverpool's transfer strategy going forward, having a player of Jadon Sancho's caliber high up on their transfer list makes complete sense. He just turned 20 years old and he racked up no fewer than 40 goal contributions last season. And there are not many wide forwards who can produce the numbers that Jadon Sancho produced. I mean, Salah gets regularly 20 goals, Mane gets regularly 20 goals as well, but they don't get 20 assists as well. Maybe 10, 15, but not 20. So Jadon Sancho at 20, 21 years old is putting absolutely crazy numbers. Diogo Jota, of course, has the potential to become as good or even better than Sadio Mane, but Jadon Sancho mainly operates on the right wing, so he could be a long-term replacement for Mohamed Salah. And I think Liverpool are already trying to piece together the next amazing front three. I mean, Salah, Firmino and Mane they are world class, they are brilliant, one of the best front threes in world football, but they can't go on forever. In 3 or 4 years, one of them or maybe even all of them will not be at Liverpool, and Liverpool need to put the building blocks in place. I think with Diogo Jota we already have the long-term Sadio Mane replacement at Liverpool. Now we just need to find another world-class forward like Firmino and another world-class wide player like Mohamed Salah. So Jadon Sancho could be the player to replace Mo Salah in long term. And do you remember that Tranfer Arsenal did a Q&A back in May, so in the beginning of the summer, and he said that he would love to see Jadon Sancho join Liverpool and move to Anfield. If Sancho came to us, he would make our team better, so I would be more than happy for him to come. I played with him for England and he's a special talent. Jadon Sancho continues to be linked with Liverpool and other big clubs. And Jadon Sancho recently scored a goal in England's friendly 3-0 win against Ireland. And I think that it's just a matter of time before Jadon Sancho comes to the Premier League, because he's English, he wants to move back home to live closer to his family. He has a very close relationship with his mother, and I think Sancho will come to the Premier League maybe next summer. I really hope that he joins Liverpool, because he would be an absolutely terrific signing. And John Aldridge told Sky Sports that Jordan Henderson should be moved back and play as a centre-back for the next few games because of Joe Gomez's injury. This is what he said. We have obviously got players that can fill in at centre-back and some good young players, but with all due respect to them, you do need experience to go with it. It's the one position when Liverpool could pay the price. We have so many great players in midfield and up front, but at centre-back it doesn't look good. I think Jurgen Klopp has to spend in January now. With all due respect to Joao Matip, he hasn't got a great record with injuries. That's just the case. We've got Fabinho, who can play as a centre-back, and Klopp has got players like Henderson and Wijnaldum who have played there, but only a few times. They can do a good job. The young lads have done terrific, but on a long-term basis, are they good enough at this moment? I don't know. I think he has to. And I think he knew that before Joe Gomez's injury. It's a long season, but the one thing we've got going forward is that Liverpool frighten the life out of teams with the attacking power that we have. You've got Leicester up next, and they have Jamie Vardy, who is absolutely magnificent at the moment. Is he going to play the young players at centre-back? Will they be able to deal with Jamie Vardy? Vardy is absolutely flying, and that's a bit scary for Liverpool. And yes, going forward, Liverpool are different class, but defensively, Jurgen Klopp has to do something. And if I was in his position and you've got a young player playing centre half, it's going to be difficult for the young lads with the way Vardy peels off the last defender, plays on the shoulder, drifts out wide where they don't want to go. He's a master of it at the moment. He's the best centre forward in the country, even above Harry Kane with the way he's playing. It's a big dilemma for Jurgen. Personally, I would go with Jordan Henderson, John Aldridge said, but whenever he has put the young players in, they have never let him down. And this is a big conundrum now for Jurgen Klopp, and I think that he has enough time to figure it out. He has still one more week to go before we play Leicester. And finally, Dejan Lovren spoke some sense on Twitter when he actually reacted to the injury crisis at Liverpool in terms of defensive players. He said, people are wondering why there is so many injuries. It's simple. Too many games, impossible to recover when you know that this year is a weird one, an unusual one because of the pandemic. No proper time off. Personally, Lovren had just 8 days off this year, which is absolutely crazy. No proper preseason, and then the crazy schedule. Toni Kroos is right, and many other managers said the same thing over and over again, but nobody listens. People who write and decide the schedule of matches should think about this topic. The problem is the people who decide the schedule want to maximize profit. They want the most money possible, and they don't care about players' well-being and players' health. That's the cold hard truth. And Toni Kroos took the opportunity before the Germany friendly against Czech Republic and said that FIFA and UEFA are sucking everything out of players. With the invention of all these new things, we seem to be just the puppets of FIFA and UEFA, Toni Kroos said. These competitions are created to suck everything out of every single player physically and to suck out as much money as possible from the players and from these matches. And that's the sad truth. And I really don't like that in the middle of the pandemic players are playing meaningless friendlies and pretty meaningless Nations League games as well, let's be honest. But finally, some good news. Thiago has been penciled in to recover and come back before our next game. So finally, that is a massive fitness boost, as Thiago Alcantara will return against Leicester City. He will be in contention to play in that fixture, which I'm so happy with that, because it will have been 6 weeks on the sidelines for Thiago since the Merseyside derby and since that horrendous tackle by Richarlison, which could have ended Thiago's season as well. And Thiago is one of the best midfielders in the world, so I think he will be a welcome addition. And Curtis Jones gave a very interesting interview to Liverpool's official website, saying this: I think I'm two totally different people on and off the pitch. I've never doubted myself. I've always believed in my ability, and I always will. I will always believe in myself to know that anybody that I'm up against, if you get the better of me in one game, then there's only one thing on my mind. The next game when I play against you, I'm going to beat you. It will be literally me for the whole game playing against you. There's being confident and being cocky. I think there's a fine line between the two of that. I don't want to have people think that I'm going over that line. Yeah, there's been times when my confidence is not as high, but the last thing I will ever do is doubt myself. Off the pitch, a lot of people know me for just being like a humble kid. I'm just humbled, relaxed, I'm chilled, I will speak to anybody. I'll just try to be how I was brought up to be. I would never change. Obviously, I'm still a little bit loud and can have a laugh, but I don't walk around confident and act how I am on the pitch. I'm different off the pitch. I like to study my own game a lot, Curtis Jones continued. I like to see what I can improve or position stuff where I can get myself into better positions. I also like to watch a lot of players that play in similar patterns to me, confident players that like to do a bit on the ball, goals, assists. But I also like to listen to a lot of things that the likes of LeBron James, Michael Jordan, Kobe, those type of people who are big in the sports world say about being confident, what they do and their schedules and stuff, like trying to be the first one in the gym, the last one out of the gym, giving that little bit more than others don't give. Even though I go out with friends and stuff, I will still like to study the game of football a lot. It was those two that I grew up with, my mother and my brother. Curtis Jones said, when I was little, it was them that kept me off the streets, and when the streets started to change a little bit more when I was growing up, it was them that kept me on the right path. It was them that kind of gave me the confidence of letting me know the player that I could become. They are the ones that I know will never ever allow me to become cocky or big-headed or come off the right path. They are the ones that will just keep me grounded and not let me think I'm something that I'm not. And yes, I did some amazing things already, like scoring the winner against Everton in the Merseyside derby, but I'm not changing my way of life. I'm not using this goal to get myself into bars, clubs, stuff like that. I'm not doing that. I'm doing that to make my family proud, to repay the fans for their faith that they have in me, and the manager and his staff. I'm doing it for them and of course me. I just went home, relaxed, probably had a cup of tea and relaxed with my mom. And that's the kind of mentality that Curtis Jones had, and that's the kind of mentality that Liverpool players need to have. And I really hope that Curtis Jones develops into a world-class player, but there is still a long way to go. He needs to stay on the ground, be humble, work hard, and just try to improve every week. Thanks for watching, guys. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Have a nice day. See you later. Goodbye.